Hello everyone, Spectre here and welcome to Star Citizen. Today is 2954 IAE, day 9, which is about the Anvil Aerospace. So I skipped the day 8 of the origin jump work because they didn't have any kind of new ships. So the only new ship they got, or newer ship they got, would be the X1 hoverbike, which it would be very awkward for me to make a separate video about that. So yeah, I am here right now, and today you got a lot of different kind of newer ships, and which is very exciting. So before further ado, let's get to it. Right in front of you, this one is the Hornet MKII Ghost, which is a medium-sized stealth fighter. Compared to the Mark I Ghost, this MKII Ghost come up with better armament, which you can tell from here. Because for the wing-mounted weapon race, for the Mark I, you only have a size 3 weapons. But they got size 4 for the Mark IIs. So, which is quite powerful compared to the Mark I, obviously. But from the outside, it looks so similar to the Mark I, except for some small details, which is quite reasonable because it's coming from there, right? And this one is the only way for you to get inside of the cockpit in here. And the animation of entering the cockpit would be different from the Mark I series. And the whole thing looks more cleaner and better, I think. But majority-wise, it's still very similar to the Mark Is. And these bars are blocking the view when you're dogfighting, obviously, which, according to my standard, is still okay. But not... I mean, I don't know whether the other combat pilots will think about these bars will affecting them or not. So over here you can tell the whole design will be a little bit better, more smoother in here. And also it's come up with some sort of modular, because as long as I can tell for the Mark I, which I tested a long time ago, they got different kind of weaponries you can fit in here. For example, at the top you can fit like a turret, and down there at the nose you can fit some weapons, for example a single mounted weapon or a turret as well, which is optional. But generally wise, it looks better than the Mark Is, obviously. On the website, the price point of this Hornet MKII series probably would be about 165 for Warborn and 185 for standalone price right now. I mean, for the Mark II Ghost, Mark II Tracker over there. So yeah, these are amazing ships. Okay, let's move on to the other ships. At the back of the Mark II Ghost, you can see this one is a F7A Hornet MKII, which is a military version of the Hornet Mark IIs. So you can tell this one is fully equipped, and you can imagine if you imply the similar armament over there, that would be how it looks like. Now you got a nose twin mounted turret in here, which are size 3s and size 4 hard points in here. You can see, and up there will be size 3s as well. So basically this one is not rentable, so you can just look at it but not rentable here. But the design is so similar to each other, so basically you can't really tell which one is which one if you're not looking at it closely. And this is the only way for you to enter the cockpit, via this ladder. So again, the animation would be much smoother comparing to the Mark Is, I think. But the interior will be as same as the other Mark IIs. Okay, let's move on. And over here you can see this one is a Hornet Mark II tracker, which is a reconnaissance version of the Hornet Mark II series. As same as the other Mark II series, you got a better armament than the Mark I's. And also the whole design would be much smoother and, you know, cooler, I would say. So basically it would be similar to the other Mark II series, which this is the only way for you to enter the cockpit, obviously. And exterior wise would be like this, which is a very, very cool looking ship. But again, just like the Mark II Ghost, the Mark I tracker will cost you around 165 for Warborn price and 185 for standalone price. Okay, let's move on. And over here you can see this one is a F7C Hornet Mark II. It's just a base variant of the Hornet Mark II series. So basically, similar armament than the Mark II Ghost and Mark II Tracker. But of course you don't have radars or stealth capabilities. But in return, you will have something very interesting, which is the cargo hold. You can hold up to 2 SU worth of cargo on top of your ship. Of course, you can change them into different things. Like for example, you can change the armament from the cargo hold to maybe a gun turret. Alright, so basically it's a very cool looking ship again. But comparing to the other Mark II series, it seems like the F7C Mark II Hornet would be a little bit cheaper due to maybe a lack of different kind of features among the Mark II series. So this one Warborn price would be 160 US dollars, and if you talk about the standalone price would be 175 US dollars. And also, if you want to like gear up with more armament, like for example nose mounted weapons, or maybe swap that cargo hold into a turret, then it means that you may need to change some of those power plants as well. Because, well, at least I can tell for the Mark I series, that Hornet, I need to change the power plants in order to make all the weapons functional. So just be aware of it. I haven't tried the Mark II yet, which I don't have enough credits to buy in-game. So that's why I can't really tell. But maybe later, if I earned a little bit more credits, then I will purchase it and take a look at it. Okay, so let's move on to the other ships. This one is the Anvil Terrapin, and aka Turtle. So basically, this one is a reconnaissance or scout ship with a radar on top of it. From the outside, it didn't change anything. I mean, not much. But interior, or maybe functional wise, it changed a little bit. So the first stop would be about the ramp. They make it longer, which easier for people to access to it. And inside of here, this one is the radar seat in here, which you can sit on it and gather data from the radar that what you spot. And as I said, the interior they changed something. For example, the gun racks right now will be located in here with a suit locker in here. And in here would be some sort of like life support and like ship's module would be placed in here. The bed, they kept it in here, which the toilet would be at the back, which they didn't change much, I think. But yeah, they changed a lot of things about the modules, which how they be placed in here, and also the gun racks in here. So over here is a kind of station for the operating the radar. Again, so basically for the radar, right now in Star Citizen radar is become more useful. Although I don't think it's a final version of it, but still, you got potential to make it better. At least from the seat, it's no longer just a seat, but instead is something that is useful. At least you can point the target to for the pilot so that they can target it, those targets a little bit more prioritized, I would say. But basically, right now it's still it's just slightly more than a seat, but still being considered as a seat only, because as I said, the radar function is not finalized yet, I think, so that's why. Yeah, so in the game, I forgot how does it cost, how much does it cost, but at least in standalone price it will be about 220, which is still expensive, but yeah, and also the feature of this ship is not fully implemented to the game right now, I think. At least the armor is not, because it's supposed to be heavily armored. So that's why. Okay, so let's move on to the other ships. In the middle of the showroom, you can see this one is Anvil Carrack, which is an expedition ship. So basically, right now they didn't change too much, or they didn't change at all still, and people were not happy about the ship because this ship was not, I mean, the cargo hold cannot be accessed from the outside, which means that every kind of cargo that's being put into the ship would be stuck, or is, I mean, people can't even put larger size cargo inside of these cargo holds or cargo bay, and that's why people don't like it. So they gave or they pledged for hundreds of dollars just for nothing for a period of time. But right now, in the following patch, probably they fixed something. They will just make a button from the outside so that you can just simply open it up from the outside, just like the Caterpillar. And in the future, these cargo holds will be swappable or even lowered. I'm not so sure how will they make it work. So at that time will be much more useful, obviously. But at least for the next patch, for the Carrack, it will be far better than at the current state. And also, in the following patch, probably they will implement the blast shield that covered the glass over here, because you know, for a long time, you know that these glasses are impenetrable, kind of. No matter you're using a size 10 railgun to hit it or using a handgun bullet to hit it, the effect will be the same, which is they won't break. But right now, for the Carrack, they will implement some sort of blast shield to cover, or armor shielding to cover the glass, so that maybe in the future, when pyro become more dangerous, which is not the next patch probably, then the blast shield or the armored shielding will be much more useful to block the radiation and other stuff, or even the other firearm as well. Not so sure how will they work, but yeah, at least they will implement such feature back to the Carrack. Right now the Carrack is, well, in the game would be very expensive. It's all it's over tens of thousands or tens of millions of dollars, I mean credits, in-game credits, which is not very ideal, especially right now the feature is not implemented to the game right now, so that I mean, you're rarely to see people flying it around, as they can't carry cargo that efficiently. But if you talk about the real cash price, it would be about $600 for standalone ship, which is quite expensive. But yeah, you better fly it around first before you decide to buy or not. So let's move on to the other ships. And lastly, in this showroom, you can see this Terrapin Medic in here, which is another variant of the Terrapin series. It is an ambulance, just like the C8R Pisces, but with heavy armored, of course. So basically, if you were talk about like flying towards some dangerous zone, a danger zone, and to do some rescue mission, probably this ship would be your option because it's heavily armored. And the ramp will be similar to the Terrapin right now. Sorry about the lagging. And this one is a med bed, which is a tier 2, which unlike the C8R, which with a tier 3. Some time ago, they implement another jump seat in here for extra personnel because people were talking about it. Like C8R, you got an assistant in here, whilst this Terrapin Medic doesn't come up with it. So that's why they make a chair in here for the assistant, so that the pilot can focus on flying the ship while the assistant would be like just simply, you know, take care of the patient in here. So comparing to the Terrapin, you got an extra door in here to, you know, for sanitation purposes, of course. But I would say the control interface would be similar to the Terrapin over there. And just this med bed would be a better version of the C8R. So when you lie down, right now it's still working, which you can recharge your hunger as well as thirst level. Alright, so right now on the web page, the warbond price would be $200, while if you talk about the standalone price would be as same as the Terrapin, which is $220, but maybe in the future, especially when armored becomes something that matters in the game, then probably you will see the price will getting higher. But to be honest, I would prefer to have this one over the C8R because, well, this thing is still tiny to fit in many ships, although maybe not be for the Carrack or maybe for the other ships like, I don't know, maybe you talk about like a Hercules Starlifters. But still, this thing is small enough for the other capital size ships, which is very nice. So yeah, but to be fair, that you better like fly around first before you truly pay any kind of real cash on this ship. Okay, so let's move on to the other ships. Okay, so lastly, at this hologram room, this is not a Paladin. Although I was trying to talk about the Paladin, this is a Crucible, so don't be tricked by it, okay? The Paladin doesn't look like this, not at all. So yeah, that's how CIG promoting their game and their new ships. I don't know how they sell their ship by putting a wrong ship in here. Yeah, but anyway, so on the website, according to my my memory, it looks like something looks like this here, the Legionnaire. A little bit looks like it, at least. Or maybe if you're looking at the Valkyrie, it looks like it as well. So basically, just use your imagination a little bit. It looks like this Legionnaire, or Valkyrie, at the front. At the back, it will be split into two parts. It looks like some sort of, you can consider it looks like the Argo SRV. And then you got a rail for the turret, which looks like a Scorpius, but is much bigger. Then you will have the Paladin, Anvil Paladin. So this ship is a kind of heavy gunship or gunship itself. And you must have 4 people to control the ship so that you can gain all the firepower you need. So for the weapon raise, for the Paladin, you got a turret with 4 size 5 weapons on board, on the turret. And at the side of the ship would be, each side will be mounted a remote turret, and each turret will have 2 size 4 weapons on board. So for the pilot, the only weapon race to control probably would be those size 4 missiles. So generally speaking, it's just a very, very heavy fighter or gunship that, well, for maybe ground assault or maybe just some sort of like fire support or something like that. And it's nimble compared to Hammerhead, of course, but well, you can't really compare between these two ships. But basically, you could have a lighter option or maybe a kind of smaller option compared to the Hammerhead, because you only need 4 people to fully man that ship. And also, well, basically would be a very strong firepower as well. So yeah, for that ship, on website, concept-wise, it would be concept price would be about $260 US. And if you talk about the standalone price, it would be about $300, which is quite expensive, of course. But anyway, personally, in my opinion, I think that this is not very ideal for CIG to sell their ship while they just simply showing a different ship in the game right now in here. So yeah, sorry about to let you guys to use your imagination, which not totally my fault, to imagine how the Paladin looks like. Or maybe I just simply, yeah, maybe I just simply use the picture that's on the website to replace this video a little bit to talk about the Paladin when I'm talking about the Paladin. Alright, so basically that's it for today's video about this 2954 IAE Day 9 Anvil Aerospace. I hope you enjoy, and I shall see you guys next time then. Bye bye.